Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a little late, but better late than never in my book. I thought I would do a review of the Profusion Cosmetics X Mean Girls collection. So as you see, I got the big eyeshadow palette, which looks really good actually. It looks better than the little ones. Here's what the big eyeshadow palette looks like. You can tell I was already like filling up the glitters just to see how they were. And I actually feel like some pretty smooth glitters. Although I don't like putting glitters on my eyes, so I'm probably not going to put glitters on my eye today. But we are going to test this palette out. So anyways, the palette, for some reason it came with like glue around here and then on the bottom here. So when I went to close it and went to open it back up, it kind of stuck together, which I thought was strange. They also had a face palette in the collection, so I picked up the face palette. This is they had two different shades. This is the You Glow Glen Cocoa Candygram 1 3-shade palette. There was two. There's one that's darker than this, but it's made for medium skin tones only. This is probably for fair to light skin tones. But it has a bronzer, looks like a shimmery blush, and a highlight. So I'm going to go in with that today too. Also, you know I had to. I picked up the mirror in the collection. It is a nice big mirror. And I really love that it says on it, if you can see, it says you're like really pretty on the mirror. I love that it says that when you look in the mirror. It has a nice handle. It feels very lightweight. Like it doesn't feel heavy and expensive. But it definitely feels well made. I like that the handle is like a thicker handle, so it's like easier to hold on to. You're not going to get any hand cramps on this mirror because the handle is so skinny. So I really like that about it. I have had this for a little bit. I bought it when it came out and probably got it about a week later after it released, but I cannot stop using this mirror. It has become one of my favorite mirrors just because it is so giant and my whole face fits into it and I can just see really good and it's just really easy to hold. I love the mirror. That's probably my favorite thing so far in the collection. But I did pick up, the last thing I did pick up was this Regulation Hottie Cooling Face Mist. And it has like a soft peppermint smell to it. I didn't realize it was a cooling face mist, but I thought it was a setting mist. So I probably should have used that before putting my foundation on. We'll use it afterwards before I put mascara and after I do my face, and I'll let you know what I think. So I did get the Regina George Lip Kit, which comes with a gloss and I guess a lip cream. So we'll put that on later. I got this one because it looked like the lip shade was more up my alley of lip shades that I like. And it comes with a cute little high shine lip gloss, which I think is in the same tubes, like early 2000s type lip gloss. It has like the slanted tube on it. So that's everything I picked up from the collection. I did end up, when I was picking up these, I did get this foundation to try. This is the Profusion Cosmetics Feel Good Skin Long Wear Skin Protector. And it's supposed to have hyaluronic acid and have medium to full coverage with a natural satin finish. And it has SPF 50. So I did put this foundation on today and I have been using it. And I have to say I do like the way it looks on my skin. It just looks, I don't know if I agree with it being a satin finish because it looks pretty glowy on my face, and maybe that's because of underneath. I always put underneath all my makeup my Glossier Future Dew just because it helps my makeup apply so good on my dry skin, and it like helps with any dry patches or whatever I have. That way it doesn't cling to any dry patches I might have. But so far I'm liking the way it looks on my skin. I think it has light to medium coverage. Probably if I went in with more I could get full coverage. But I like more of a light to medium coverage foundation, so I'm okay with that. I did also pick up this because it just reminded me so much of the Clarins Lip Oil. And this is a Profusion Cosmetics Juicy Lip Tint. It's a nourishing lip oil. I just like the color. and everything. And I've been using it to apply before. It has even the same type of doe foot as the one from Clarins, that fat doe foot. Not just been using it. I've just been applying this before doing my makeup, and then that way my lips are nice and moisturized by the end of it. I do have to say that it doesn't taste the best. Like, it kind of just smells like chemicals. So take it with that. We all wish it had like a fruity scent or something to it. But what do you get? Everything's pretty cheap with Profusion, so it's no surprise. Okay, so today, so I'm gonna go ahead and go in with the You Glow Glen. I'm never gonna get tongue-tied. You Glow Glen Cocoa. You Glow Glen Cocoa palette, and we're gonna go in with the bronzer, the blush, and the highlights, and then we'll check out the cooling face mist. I'm gonna try to zoom you in just a little bit more. So I zoomed you in just a little bit more so you could see a little bit better. Hopefully you can. Honestly, I'm blind without my glasses. I can't really see. Well, you're blurry. You're blurry to me right now. So I can't really see really good, but I can sort of see. And I think it's good enough. So I'm gonna go in with the Can't Sit With Us bronzer. Oh, and then in full fashion of on Wednesdays we wear pink. I thought I would put on my like pink. This is like a super soft dress. It's a pink tie-dye that I'll put on to wear in this video. You can't do a, I feel like you can't do a review of a Mean Girls palette without wearing your pink. So this is definitely showing up on my skin, but I feel like if you have skin darker than mine, maybe to light skin, it'll show up. But if it's too much deeper than mine, this is not going to show up on you. But it is a pretty good bronzer. It's blending out really easily for me. Builds up good. I like it. I think it looks good on me. I think it's a good shade for my skin tone. It's not too warm, but it is warm, but not too warm. Looks pretty good. And you know I'm using my Refer brushes. That was my Refer bronzer brush. And from the blush, I'm going to be using my Refer number 4, which is just the angled blush brush. Well, it's an angled brush. You could probably use this for contour or whatever you want to use it for. It doesn't have to be for blush. I just like to use it for blush. This is a very shimmery blush. And you could probably almost use this as a highlight and a blush. Like a blush lighter. I don't know if I love the blush. I like that it's glowy, but it's almost like a highlight type of glowy. That was the Good Friend blush. Now we're going to go into the Secrets highlight, which looks pretty golden. Not going to lie. I don't know if it's going to look good on me. But here it is. I'm going to go, like I use this bronzer and then this blush. And then I'm going to go into this highlight now, which looks pretty golden. We'll see. Hopefully it's not too dark for me. Oh yeah, that's definitely gold. But I don't think it's, well, maybe it's a little dark for me. But we're using it today. It's almost the same type of gold that's in the, well, it's a little bit lighter gold than what's in the blush. It looks good. It's a nice blinding highlight. If you like a blinding highlight, you can probably see me from outer space by now between between the blush and the highlighter. You can probably see me from outer space. I mean, it looks pretty. It looks like a really pretty glowy look. I'm curious because it's like a pinky peach with a gold shift in this blush. I'm curious if this blush is like Nars Orgasm. I don't think I have it with me. I have like a very, oh I do. I have like this very a baby thing of Nars Orgasm, so I'm going to swatch to find out if it's like Nars Orgasm. Because if you look at them, here they are side by side. Do you think it looks like Nars Orgasm? I think it kind of looks like Nars Orgasm. Gonna swatch. I have yet to use my Nars Orgasm on my cheeks, but I'm gonna get like a good swatch of it to see. I'll use a different finger for this blush. You guys, I think I just found a dupe for Nars Orgasm. There might be a slight more peachiness in Nars Orgasm, but here is, this one is the one from Profusion, and the one over here is Nars Orgasm. You tell me. Do they look the same to you? They look the same to me. You heard it here first. If you want Nars Orgasm but you don't want to pay the price, get this palette. I know that they're I know that they had a thing where you could fill out to get your email to be notified when it restocks. So I think they're restocking this. But I'm so shocked that that's like a total dupe for the Nars Orgasm blush. I didn't even think about that until I was like looking at it. It definitely is the same shade and everything. I'm surprised. Oh, so now that we've done our whole face, I'm gonna go ahead and spray with this Regulation Hottie Cooling Face Mist. Ooh. It has a strong peppermint smell. And a strong mist. It kind of shoots at you in the face. It does have that cooling feeling though. You definitely get the cooling feeling. So maybe on a hot summer day, you live in Florida and it's a hot summer day, maybe keep this in your bag if you're going to be out at amusement parks, or if you're going to be out for a while on a hot summer day. This would definitely be a good face mist to just mist your face to cool off, because you definitely get, and I guess it's because they have the peppermint in here, you definitely get that cooling sensation on your face. So I feel like this would feel good on a hot summer day. Which is starting to transition into fall now, so I think the hot summer days are over with. Okay, I tried to zoom you in a little bit more because we're going to get started on the palette now. Now that I'll put my eyebrows on, completely forgot about those. Let's get into the eyeshadow palette. Oh, I'm excited. I think because it's Mean Girls and everything, I think I'm going to have to do at least a pink look. Even though I'm drawn into like these green shades down here that look so good, I'm going to go with a pink look today because it's Mean Girls. And on Wednesdays we wear pink, and it's not Wednesday when I'm filming this, but it's going to be Wednesday when I post this. Hi guys, so it's editing me here, well sort of editing me here. You can tell my makeup looks different and everything. I still use the palette, but I'm coming in here to let you know that this portion where I did the pink look is kind of out of focus, and I didn't realize that until I went into editing it, and I didn't want to scrap it and redo it. I decided to just add like an extra look because I was really struggling with the shimmers, the pink shimmers in the palette. So I decided to just add an extra look. I'm going to keep in as much as I can of the pink eyeshadow look. That way you can hear like my criticisms on the shimmers and stuff, and you can hear my thoughts on the mattes that were from my pink look. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and start that footage now, and you'll see after that, whatever I show of that, it'll go into my second look using the palette. I wanted to add a second look since I struggled so much with the shimmers in the first look. So we're going to go in with my reference number 15, which looks like this. And I think I'm just going to go into a very light shade just to do a transition. There's not really any light pink shades in here. So I'm just going to go into this shade Flip Flops here. It looks like just a neutral. Probably going to be too light to really be a transition shade on me, but I'm going to pretend that it's not going to be. I'm going to use that as a transition shade. That's more of a probably about brow bone highlight for me than a transition shade, but we're going to use it anyways. I do see some color payoff. It's very my skin tone. I feel like if you had a deeper skin tone, this would look very powdery on your skin tone. Okay, I'm going to go in with a bit smaller brush. This one. This is the rougher number 13. And I'm just going to go into the brightest pink shade in here, just called a Pink Shirt, which is the shade right here. I'm just going to start working that into my crease. Like I said, we're going to go pink today. See how pink we can get. Okay, I love that shade. It built up really good. I didn't get any fallout from it on my face or anything. I'm really surprised. I'm gonna go into the deeper shade now with a smaller blending brush than that. This is my rougher 14, which is a little bit smaller blending brush than that one. And I'm gonna go into the deepest pink shade that they have here, just to put on my outer corner. And it is called a Burn Book. Hopefully you're seeing that there. And I'm gonna put that on my outer corner, just to deepen it up, outer edge. Hopefully it looks pretty deep in the pan, so hopefully I can get it to that depth from the outer corner. It definitely is deepening up some, probably not as deep as I would have wanted it. I'm really liking the way that looks. It's not as deep as I would have liked, but I still think it looks good. I'm gonna go with my glitter glue now. Now that I got glitter glue in that eye, I'm gonna go into the shade That's So Fetch, which looks just like, it doesn't really look like a shimmer. But I'm gonna put That's So Fetch, which is this shade right here, on my eye, and then I might put like more of a topper type of shade on top of it if it doesn't look shimmery enough for me with the glitter glue. We'll see. Okay, so I'm picking up on my brush, so I'm gonna try and go into it with my finger. It's barely even coming up. It's really hard pressed. Like really hard pressed. Like I'm having to dig to get anything from that. Try to take like the first layer off of it, and we'll see for my next eye. I'm going to go over it with something else, but I'm going to go ahead and put that on my other eye first, and then we'll continue on. I'm still going to go in with my finger to try to do it. Once I've scraped off that top layer of it, seems to be applying, it seems to be picking up better now, but still it's not the shiniest shade in the bunch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on to a different shade. I think I'm going to take Shiny Plastic, which is right next to it, this shade called Shiny Plastic, and try to put that over top. This one's much softer pressed. I'm going to use my fingers. I'm just going to try to tap it on over top. And this one is much prettier, more shiny than the other one. The other one I think was more of a satin shade. I like this color much better than that other color. Okay, that's what I have going on so far. I still don't know if I'm in love with the shades I've used. I'm not very impressed. You know, my finger, now I have a feeling these are probably going to stain my lids too. These, the shimmers I'm not impressed with. The ones I've used, not very impressed with them. But they also don't look like super shiny and metallic in the pan. So that might be why. So I'm going to go on with the first brighter pink shade that I had. I'm just taking a tad bit more, and I'm going to run it over top my crease, just to blend. I'm going to go on with the other one I had, the smaller blending brush. I'm going to just take a tiny tap of it, and I'm going to do underneath my eyes first. I'm just going to take my rougher number 2, and I'm going to go into that brighter pink shade, put it under my eye. Maybe I'll do the darker one. I'm going to do the darker pink shade and just put it on the outer third of my eye. I'm going to take the the blending brush where I use the deeper, not the deeper shade, the lighter shade. That's the deeper shade. The blending brush where I use the lighter and a little bit brighter shade. I'm just gonna take a little bit on that my brush and sweep it underneath to kind of like smoke it out a little bit. So far we are very, very pink. We're gonna go on with my inner corner shade now. I'm gonna use this shade here. Hopefully it'll be light enough. Called Awesome Time. This one right here, it looks like a really pretty shimmery shade. And there's only a few in here that look like that. So it looks pretty metallic. I don't know if it's a glitter. Seems pretty soft pressed. I feel like this would have been a better shade to add onto my eye. I might have to add that into the center of my eye just to add some dimension to it. To my eye. I'm going to take some of that shade that I'll put in my inner corner. It seems so soft. That's because it is soft. Oh no. Anyways, I'm just going to tap that into the center of my lid. Well, that stinks. That's like a really good shade too. I'm going to show you guys. I don't know if I recommend this palette. So I tapped that into my inner, just the inner portion, because I think on the inner corners it just looks so glowy and beautiful. And it just needed to be put in the center of my eye. But I'm going to show you what happened to the shade when I was rubbing it with my finger. Like, it completely collapsed and fell apart. So here is the shade after I messed with it. It's like there wasn't even that much in the pan, and it was like super flaky. Feels super soft to the touch. This yellow one's the same type of shade. So I don't know. It's really like a putty type formula, almost like the Super Shock formula from ColourPop. But there was like not that much stuck in the pan or something, because it completely fell apart when I was doing it. It's definitely not a glitter. I found an LA Girl Shockwave Neon Pink liner. I'm gonna put that in my waterline. I have yet to use this one. I got them because everybody says how good they are. It is very neon in my waterline. Okay. Now I put that in my waterline. I just started watering a little bit, but it still worked. Okay, let's do the lips. I'm gonna go in with this one, Profusion Mean Girls. This one's just the shade Regina George. I think it's just a lip cream. It doesn't really say on the thing what it is. Interesting doe foot. Feels like a really super thin formula. See if it dries down. I do like the color. The color is definitely my colors. I like that part about it. I don't know if it exactly goes with the eyes I did today, but it's definitely my colors. I zoomed out a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and stick the gloss on. It's not really fully dried down. It's kind of sticky. But this is the High Shine Lip Gloss. It's just in the shade Regina George too. Just gonna, oop, a lot pressed out here. Oh, kind of tastes weird. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of the lip product. I did like this. It's a very thin formula, and it gets sticky on the dry down, but I like the color of it. Would I use it again? I don't know. I definitely would not use the gloss again. It's really thick, goopy gloss. It doesn't have a nice like fruity smell or anything to it. I don't know. It's a thick gloss. I guess it'll last a long time then, but feels like it would be kind of moisturizing, I guess. Hi guys, so here I am again. This is a different day. I was looking at this video. I was going to post it on Wednesday, but then I realized that when I was doing, I'm going to take this off. When I was doing my pink eyeshadow look, most of that came in out of focus, or I was off camera and I didn't even realize it because without my glasses I cannot see everything is blurry, so I cannot tell if it's out of focus and blurry or anything with my glasses not on. So I'm hoping that this will be in focus. I decided to do a second look. I'm not refilming the pink look. I've kept it in there. Hopefully you aren't too annoyed about that. I wanted to keep it in there because I made some good valid points about the shades that I used and everything. So I really wanted to keep that in there so you could hear the points on the eyeshadows that I used that day and my thoughts on them, because I did have some thoughts. And that's also another reason why I wanted to come in here and maybe try to do a second look, but I want to do it with like the bottom half of this palette, and I might dip into a yellow or something here. But I thought I would use the bottom half. Let's see how that works, the darker shades. But so far I don't have any problem with the mattes. It's just the shimmers are really underwhelming. For what I've heard about the brand, I've heard really good things about the brand in general. So when I got these shimmers and they're not as good as people were saying that the other shimmers are in the other palettes. So, and this is my first time really trying Profusion, so we'll see. I'm going to do a second look and we're going to see how that goes. I think I'm going to go in with my Refer 27 brush, which is just a fluffy blending brush. It's a little bigger. I'm gonna go into my this first shade here. It's a yellow called Cool Mom. It's like a mustardy yellow shade here. I want to go into that and put it in my crease, praying that this will all be on camera today. And one of the reasons why I wanted to go into the yellow, because yellows are hard to formulate, so I'm very curious as to whether they have a good yellow or not. And I thought this yellow might go good with the greens that I'm going to use, the deeper greens. So now, just so you know, I did use all of the same Profusion products on my face. I have the foundation that I used in earlier on me. I have it's like all the same products that I've used during my first look here. I made sure to use those again just to get like a second impressions and more trial on those shades. And I have to say, I am in love with the face palette that I got. I absolutely love it. The bronzer is amazing. The blush, like I said earlier, is a dupe for the Nars Orgasm blush. It's the exact same shade, everything. It has even the gold sheen to it that the Nars Orgasm has. I definitely think it's worth getting. I just wish they had like one extra face palette in the collection, because the one I got's for like fair to light, and then the second one that they have is like for light to medium skin tones, but definitely would not do medium deep or even deep skin tones. Not even medium deep skin tones, I don't think it would do, unless it just looks, maybe it just looks like it'll be, looks like it's lighter than it is, but I don't know. Okay, now that I've got the yellow, is pretty good. You had to build it up, but it's pretty good. Now that I got that yellow in place, I'm going to go into You Go Glen Cocoa, which is this shade right here. And this looks like a teal, like bluey shade. It's definitely a darker shade to be going into. But like I said, I wanted to, I really wanted to test out these shades. The deeper shades, to see how they did. Because it's not easy to formulate these shades without them being like patchy or something. Hopefully I made a good decision going in with the yellow. I don't know if I'm liking the yellow so far in my look. But this blue is, this teal shade here, amazing. It looks so good. It's blending out so easy on my eye. I'm amazed. I'm amazed at how easy this is blending out. And I'm putting it on my outer corner also. And then I'll just go in with a little bit of a deeper shade that I see here afterwards to deepen it up even more. But from what I can see, hopefully I'm in focus this time, unlike last time. From what I can see here, this is blending out beautifully. Go with a little bit smaller brush. This is my rougher number 13. I'm going to go into that little bit deeper shade I was telling you about. This one is called Grounded. And it is that shade, this shade right here, Grounded. Hopefully you can see. It's a little bit deeper. This looks more like just maybe an emerald green. It's definitely a green shade. Less teal, more green. Just doing it to see if I can get like a little bit deeper color going out here. I have to say, I use the same lipstick and everything because I wanted to use the same shade of everything that I bought. But the lipstick does not go with what I got going on here. I don't know if I really tell that much of a difference between this shade and the last shade, honestly. Might be deepening it up just a hair more, but I really don't notice that much of a difference. Just gonna go back into that previous brush, and I'm gonna take the blue, whatever's left over on it, and put it on the lower lash line. Connect it with what's going on up above. I'm gonna go with the shimmer now. I think I wanna, no, let me swatch. That looks more of a matte shade. Or is it a shimmer? I can't tell. There's two here that I like. I can't tell which one. I don't know if either one of these would look good with my eye. We'll see. Maybe I can top it with something. Okay, so I'm gonna go with my glitter glue now. This shimmer has turned out to be really good. It's Caddy is the name of the shimmer shade, and I'll show it to you here in a second. It's turned out to look really good. I always feel like blues and greens are so far out of my comfort zone that when I use them, I never create that good of a look. Like, I don't know if this goes together, but I have a green I'm going to top it over with, probably use my finger to top it off with the green. But I do have to say this shade looks really pretty. It's just got a lot of base pigment to it. So the shimmer shade I went in with was It's Caddy, which is this shade right here. I'm going to try and top it off with this shade here, which is Jingle Bells, and it's a green shade. I'm going to try to top it off with that to try to match what's going on in my crease a little bit better, because so it's like the kind of like mix them. So I'm just using my finger to do that. That's a really good shade too. Interesting that these shades here are better than the... So interesting that these shades here are better than the pink shades. Because I feel like pink shades are easier to do, are they not? That pretty much just covered up the shade. But you want to know why I like it better with this look. So I'm glad I'm going in with this shade now. It's a softer, more softer pressed one. It feels creamier in the palette, unlike the other shimmers that I was using. The other pinks felt like really super, maybe it was just my palette, but the pink shimmers felt really super hard pressed. I really had to dig in on them to get any pigment, but not with these. As you can see, this one super easy to work with, which is strange. I'm gonna go back into that teal shade and just put some above my crease just to do extra blending so it looks seamless. And I'm gonna go in with a little bit of that green in the outer corner just to blend over the edges. It's time for the inner corner, which I don't know what I want to do. I might go in with this yellow, which I like. It's called a Lesbian Crush. I'm going to go with that yellow and stick it in my inner corner. And that's one of the other shades. It's like a different formula. It's almost like a Super Shock, I want to say. It feels like a Super Shock type of shadow. Oh, that was a good idea. whatever's left on my brush, I'll highlight my brow bone with. I like that now. I do. I really like how this look turned out in the end. So this is my second look using the Mean Girls palette. This is my second look doing it. I'm gonna go ahead and put mascara on and stuff and finish up my look, and then we'll come back to see my completed look for you guys. Okay, here is my completed look with mascara and everything on. Honestly, I love this look so much better than the first look I did with this Mean Girls palette. This one is so much better. I didn't struggle with any of the mattes, which I haven't struggled with any of the mattes in this palette anyway. But the shimmers, I didn't struggle with none of the shimmers. They're so good. The blue here was really good. This blue here was really good. And so was this green. It was more softer pressed. I don't know what's going on with these two pink shades here, but these two pink shades here in the palette, they're really hard pressed. They're not that impressive in my opinion. And then they have these two like creamy shimmers, which I absolutely love. They almost remind me of ColourPop's Super Shock type of formula. But for some reason they didn't fill this pan all the way. So I used it one time and hit pan on this shade. So I know that shade's gonna go pretty fast. And yeah. I do want to try again and try and use the purples too, which maybe I'll create a different look using purples later on. But I don't know if I would recommend the palette, but I am enjoying it more with the deeper shades in the palette and these blues, which is really out of my comfort zone. But I really wanted to try them to see how they work, especially after doing the pinks and seeing that the pinks, especially the pink shimmers, were so awful. I thought for sure that the blues and the greens and stuff like that wouldn't be as good either, but turned out with a really beautiful look. It's giving me a sort of a mermaidy vibes. I'm loving it. I don't think the lip exactly goes with my eyes today, but I wanted to use the same lip that I used in my last video, honestly. And I loved it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this second look, and it's gonna just cut right into the outro that I had in my last video that I had earlier with the pink look. I'm just inserting this into the part after the pink look, so I guess you'll see the rest of my outro that I already had. So let's go over on the products. I'm gonna go ahead and go with the You Glow Glen Cocoa Candy Graham 1-3 shade face palette. So that's this. I do like this. I think I can see myself reaching for this. I really like the bronzer. It's a good shade for me. Not too warm, but it's not a neutral undertone either, but it's just not too orangey, which I think it looks really good on my skin tone. I do really like the blush here. If you love a glowy blush, if you like the Nars Orgasm blush, this is pretty much the same blush but cheaper. So if you want the Nars Orgasm blush, or you love that blush but you don't want to spend the price for it, maybe look for this palette, because this was the exact same shade as Nars Orgasm. You can get the same look from it. And the highlighter, I think, looks really good. It's definitely a blinding highlight. I really like the face palette. Worked good for me. The eyeshadow palette. I feel like this is probably the best eyeshadow palette of the collection. I wasn't a fan of the That's So Fetch shade that I use. I had to scrape off the top part of it just so I could get some pigment, because it kind of already had hard pan, which I think is weird. Even this shade Simply Plastic, if you look close enough, it looks like it has hard pan already, and I just touched it. And then this shade Awesome Time here that I used pretty much crumbled and fell apart in the pan. It's like they didn't fill up the pan completely. They just put like a thin layer, so when I went in with my finger to put it on my eyes, it just completely broke apart. Feels like these two, this shade and then this shade Lesbian Crush, the shade Lesbian Crush, and Awesome Time. They feel like Super Shocks from ColourPop. The Super Shock shadows, it kind of feels like that. And really, those are the only two shades that look like that and look like super shiny and sparkly in the palette. They're like the two special shades. I don't know, man. I think I need to play more with the yellows and more with the greens and stuff to know if I could recommend this to you. Off of playing what I played with today, I don't think I would. The mattes worked really good, but I really wasn't impressed by the shimmers in the palette. They're not, I like a super metallic, super sparkly shimmer, and I didn't get that from anything in here except for the shade that crumbled apart for me. This one was more of a satin. This one was more shiny. The one next to it was more shiny than the shade there, but it still wasn't anything like spectacular or anything new or different that we haven't been seeing from other brands. I do think that this shade and this shade here are like special shades in the palette. Ones that I've seen like indie brands doing, like Adept Cosmetics. Kind of like those type of super sparkly, shiny shades. I think those are kind of worth it. And I have to say, I did swatch the glitters, and the glitters are very nice. They seem to be really pigmented. They seem to have a really nice base to them, so they stick. I haven't put them on my eyes, but from what they've been on my hand when I swatched them, they swatch pretty good for glitters. It seemed like they had a nice base to them. They're creamy, but I don't know if I would recommend this palette. I feel like this is something you only get if you have a connection to Mean Girls. If you really love the movie and it was a significant movie to you and you have some nostalgia with it, then that's why you get this palette. You don't get this palette because it's a super amazing standout palette that you need to have. I definitely don't think you need to have any of this. I love the packaging and everything's cute. And I did love Mean Girls. I'm not as nostalgic for Mean Girls like some people are, I guess. It performed okay. The mattes were really impressive to me. And there wasn't like a whole bunch of fallout on my face. I didn't have no fallout from any of those mattes. Like, that was surprising to me. With other brands, you would have a lot of fallout. With this one, no. The only thing I really liked was this face palette. But that was, it's not revolutionary. It's not something that you can't get elsewhere. You know? I don't know. Anyways, that's my video today. That's my review of the Mean Girls Profusion Cosmetics collection. My favorite thing from the collection, the mirror. Y'all know I've been collecting mirrors, so definitely the mirror is my favorite thing from the collection. It's literally the only thing I've been picking up from collections recently. If it's a collection I don't like, but they have a mirror that's super cute, then I get it. But yeah. Just wasn't super impressed by anything. I feel like you can get better from other brands. The mattes were good, but they need to work on their shimmers, I think. That's all. Because I love super shiny, sparkly shimmers. I want to see my shimmer on my eyeballs from outer space. And I just didn't get that with that palette, with the palette. This palette, and kind of disappointed me in that sense. Mainly because there's a lot of glitters in here, and I guess that's where you're supposed to be getting your super sparkly shades. But I hate using glitter on my eyes because it takes 5,000 years to get rid of glitter. You see it like 2 years after you've already removed it. But yeah, that's my video today. I hope you guys enjoyed this look at the Profusion Mean Girls palette, and whether you want to pick it up or not, I would not recommend wasting your money on it, even though everything was pretty cheap in the collection. But anyways, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up down below. And if you're not yet subscribed, I would greatly appreciate it if you would consider subscribing to this channel. And I hope you guys are having a great day, night, or weekend, wherever you are, or whatever time it is when you're watching this. And I guess I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.